What's going on, everybody? I am back to break down this 12-game MLB DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Should be a good one. We have plenty of hitting, plenty of pitching, as always, on a Friday, so excited to get into it. If you enjoy the content, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Like goal on all these videos is going to be 200 likes. The likes on this DraftKings FanDuel videos haven't been that great, so if you can help me out with that, that'd be great. I'll be here all season helping you guys out to give you the top plays to get you winning some money on DraftKings and FanDuel. Get you the top plays, get you in the green. If you are getting very serious, I do offer premium content packages. That's linked below in the description. Patreon.com/KJK_DFS. I do offer Prize Picks NBA package, Prize Picks MLB, just Super Draft MLB, DraftKings FanDuel MLB, Prize Picks WNBA, and then the all-new KJK DFS MLB All-Star package. I'm doing exclusive live streams. I have exclusive Discord. We had a member last night take down second in a tournament from taking some advice on that live stream, so that was good. So shout out to Patrick. Congratulations on that, man. And I'm looking forward to continuing to doing those. I think that package has a lot of value to offer if you're interested and you're getting really serious. And lastly, this video is brought to you by Prize Picks. If you haven't checked out Prize Picks, go to check them out today. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match deposit up to $100 on your first deposit today. We went 4-0 on that video yesterday as well. For a clean sweep. So if you haven't checked out Prize Picks, sign up today, use that promo code, get that free money offer. I'll be launching some more content on that. And like I said, if you're getting serious, I do offer the premium content packages. So let's get into it, guys. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for my home run call of the day. Yesterday we had Jesse Winker. He hit a ball deep in the left field gap in Baltimore where that wall got pushed back and it didn't get out. There's an account on Twitter that I follow that tells you if it would have been a home run, and it would have been a home run at 21 of 30 ballparks. So hey, I think it was a good call. He had a good night at the dish regardless, though. Hit 2 doubles. I had 3 hits. Put up a big fantasy score, so if you played him, you would have been happy. But looking forward to getting into this one. We're going to talk about pitching first, and then we'll get into bats on the second latter half of the video, as always. And I like to go ahead and sort my sheet by K rate. It's fantasy sports. We get points for strikeouts. And the top guy on the slate today is going to be Corbin Burnes, taking on the San Diego Padres. Absolute elite stuff. He comes in with a 16.8% swinging strike rate, 34.6% K rate overall, with a 34.6% K rate to righties and a 34.5% K rate to lefties. Fantastic stuff. He only gives a 273 slugging to righties and a 293 slugging to lefties. Just elite. The only, I guess, down thing you could say about him is the matchup taking on the San Diego Padres, but he still does come in as a 151 favorite. There's just some other elite pitchers on the slate that get a little bit of a better matchup, but still, I mean, you got to have some interest in Corbin Burnes. You always have to have interest in him when he takes the bump. It's just the Padres don't strike out the most. They're at the top of the lineup. Once you get down to the bottom, though, they do have some pretty high strikeout guys. And with Corbin Burnes' strikeout numbers, he can strike out anyone. I think he just took on St. Louis last time out, which is another team that really doesn't strike out a lot. And he struck out 11. So that just goes to show you. 11, 0 earned runs, 7 innings pitched. Can always have interest in Burnes. He's just got elite stuff across the board. So he is definitely going to be viable. He's 10-1 over here on DraftKings, so you can get a nice little discount on him compared to a couple of other guys. And on FanDuel, same story. It's a couple tiers down from some of the other guys as well. So certainly going to be a viable option on the slate today in Burnes. Garrett Cole, arguably the top arm with the matchup and the stuff. He's a 32.8% K rate overall with a 14.8% swinging strike rate. Good ground ball, fly ball stuff. He has a 28.8% K rate against righties and a 38% K rate against lefties. Really good across the board, and like I said, the matchup is really what's going to make him stand out as the top play on the slate tonight. It's the Detroit Tigers. They strike out a ton. He's a 355 favorite, massive favorite in Yankee Stadium tonight, so he's expected to get the win. And then when you're reading some of these Detroit Tigers K rates, I mean, you can't ask for much more. Starting from the bottom up, 33%, 25, 22, 16, 32, 22, 19, 20, 26. They have thrown in a few lower strike guys recently. I mean, Clemens, we're only dealing with a 6 at-bat sample size, so his 16% K rate might not be relevant in the long term in the 6th spot, but so far he's been a little bit of a lower strikeout guy. But he's a lefty, and we talked about that elite K rate for Cole against those left-handed hitters with a 38% K rate. So, I mean, Garrett Cole, I think, is the top option on the slate. You really can't ask for much more. Massive favorite. He's got a long leash. He'll go deep into the ball game. It's a good matchup. The only thing you could make an argument for is he probably will be very highly owned. And, you know, then maybe the pivot to a Corbin Burnes or one of those other guys pays off for that reason. You do get a slight discount on those guys, but Cole's got to be the top option on the slate for sure. So many good options, though. We got McClanahan taking on the Chicago White Sox. He has a 30+% K rate with a 15.5% swinging strike rate, 29.7% K rate to righties, and a 31.6% K rate to lefties. You look at the Vegas lines, he's also a 203 favorite, so he's a nice heavy favorite, which the favorites might kind of be the difference maker when it comes to selecting pitching on this slate, just based on that alone, because with such good pitching, I mean, you're going to want your guy to get the win, obviously, and have the most upside. The White Sox do have some pretty heavy K guys at the bottom of the order. Moncada and Berger, 35% piece against left-handed pitching. But then the rest of the lineup's right around like 19 to 18% for the most part. So could definitely be some better matchups, but definitely not the worst. McClanahan, once again, elite strikeout stuff. And we have Shane Bieber taking on the Orioles. Another great matchup. 15% swing strike rate, 29.6% K rate, 25.5% K rate against righties, and a 34.1% K rate against lefties. He also is a favorite. Not the heaviest of favorites compared to some of these other guys we talked about. So Cole's a 355. McClanahan's a 200 favorite. So those are two really massive heavy favorites. Shane Bieber only a 137, so I guess that's one negative thing you could say about him. But he gets to take on the Baltimore Orioles, who have been striking out quite a bit on the season. 25% for Mateo at the bottom of the order, 28, 24, 18, 27, 20, 17, 23. Another good K matchup for sure, and definitely a guy to keep looking to. I mean, there is no shortage of pitching options on this slate, and that's just going to allow us to be picky, man. You don't have to go for anything too crazy on this slate today. Musgrove taking on Milwaukee. Another really good guy, 27.2% K rate against righties, 26.3% K rate against lefties. Good ground ball, fly ball stuff. Look at the Vegas lines for him as far as the lines against Milwaukee. He is an underdog taking on Burns, so that's one thing that might, make him not really stand out as the top option on the slate tonight. I mean, you're breaking down Milwaukee for as far as the strikeout stuff. We're always looking to get strikeouts. They pretty much have a 20+% K rate, right around 20% K rate for everyone in the lineup, similar to all these other matchups we talked about. So for me, Musgrove probably just becomes a tournament option just because we have those other guys that are massive favorites. So, obviously we want that win bonus as well as a good outing as far as I'm concerned with so many good options. So I think Musgrove's kind of my least favorite pitcher in the top range for that reason. Eovaldi taking on Oakland. Hey, keep them coming with the good matchups. 25.4% K rate overall, 12.7% swing strike rate, 24.2 against righties, and a 27% K rate against lefties. Oakland. Great matchup, great ballpark in the Oakland A Coliseum, one of the best pitching environments in baseball. Always ballpark that I'm looking to target. Great ballpark. I mean, I guess that's one thing that we could be considering with these pitchers as well. Which ones are in the best ballparks? Corbin Burns in Milwaukee, not the best pitching ballpark. Shane McClanahan in Tampa, another really, really good pitching environment. So Oakland, we talked about Tampa Bay, the Trop. Always a really good place to be targeting pitching, so that's a nice little bonus. Garrett Cole doesn't get the best of environments in Yankee Stadium, so if you want to, mark him down a tick because of that, you could, I guess. And then you have Shane Bieber in Baltimore, which I said earlier, with them pushing that wall back in left field. It's become a little bit better of a pitching ball, or a lot better of a pitching ballpark. So I guess that's something you could be factoring in, but. Yeah, I mean, Nathan Eovaldi, you can't ask for much more. He's only a 162 favorite, which is a little bit unfortunate, but the Oakland Athletics are one of the top teams we've been targeting all year. They just really aren't good up and down. As far as Eovaldi and his price tag, compared to some of these guys, you do get a nice discount. He's only $8K on DraftKings compared to that upper price range. He's been fantastic the last two times out. He's thrown 108 and 101 pitches, 6 and 11 strikeouts, 2 earned runs in each of those games. He's put up 30 fantasy points. So, you can't ask for much more. And then as far as FanDuel's concerned, you do get a nice discount on him as well at 8.8. So, once again, you're going to have pitching. If you want to have a certain stack, you're going to pick your bats first, and you're going to have pitching for every single possible stack you could want in this slate. So, it should be a fun one. I mean, you have Gilbert taking on Texas. I don't want to take all day going over these guys, but there's so many good options, man. Even just the matchups alone, you have Dane Dunning taking on Seattle. Zach Eflin taking on the LA Angels, which is a team we've been targeting all year long that have high strikeout stuff. I mean, I think Eflin could be a great tournament play. He's 8-2 on FanDuel. As far as his recent form, last time out, 6 innings pitched, the time before 7, the time before 6, 5-12, 4 strikeouts. Got blown up last time against the Mets with 7 earned runs, but he's a guy that he's a little bit matchup dependent, but he does have quite a bit of high strikeout upside. And he's only 6-1 over here on DraftKings. So once again, another great option you could be looking to with the matchup against the Angels and the high strikeout stuff. Merrill Kelly against Pittsburgh, just another really good option as far as the matchup. Merrill Kelly doesn't have the most elite stuff, but the Pittsburgh Pirates have been a team we've been targeting all year. The game is being played in Pittsburgh, so pretty good pitching environment. Definitely an upgrade for him compared to Arizona. So, I mean, that's pretty much the top pitchers. I mean, I don't think I missed anyone. Yusei Kikuchi's a massive favorite, taking on the Minnesota Twins, so you could be looking at him. His pitch count's not the most ideal is the only problem with him. He's been right around like mid-80s pitches per game, so on a slate that's so big. I mean, if you're loading up on bats, you could go like Kikuchi and Eflin. Yeah, so there's just so many options, so many good options. Paying up for elite pitching, going down is going to be an option. Really just depending on, it's all going to be opportunity cost. Is it worth going down at pitching for the bats that you want, or is it not? And I can tell you, I'm really excited to discuss bats because Chichi Gonzalez is on this slate. He is a man that has won me lots of money, and not from pitching him, but from playing bats against him. So we'll lead things off for the bats with Chichi Gonzalez, which is always a fun time. Whenever I see his name on the board, I get excited. He has a 39.1% hard contact rate. He has not started in forever. Only a 6.8% swing strike rate. 6.46 ERA, 5.29 SIERA. He gives up a 630 slugging to righties with a 47% hard contact rate and a 415 WOBA. And that's going to be a problem because he has to take on one of the best right-handed lineups in the entire league in the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays are just, without a doubt, the top stack of the slate. Not even close for me. If you can't tell from my enthusiasm and excitement, I mean, this offense is just going to go off tonight. Springer, Espinal, Bo Bichette, Vladdy, Teoscar Hernandez, Alejandro Kirk, Matt Chapman, Danny Jansen. Every single guy in this lineup is a right-handed hitter outside of Romel Tapia in the bottom, in the 9 spot. And they might even choose to go with the righty instead of him tonight. Who knows? I mean, I think they'd probably stick with him for his defense, but, I mean, this is just a smash spot. Springer, Bichette, Guerrero, Teoscar, all these guys have massive power. Even Alejandro Kirk, Matt Chapman, Danny Jansen. Just load up on the Blue Jays and count your money tonight as far as I'm concerned. So I'm sure they're going to have high ownership, but Chichi Gonzalez is like, I'm telling you, man. The guy, like I said, he's made me a lot of money in the past. Chichi Gonzalez and Chris Tillman are probably my 2 favorite names. Chris Tillman is no longer in the league, but those were good times when he was. But Chichi Gonzalez, yeah. Load up on the Blue Jays tonight. Feel good about it. Chad Kuhl taking on the Atlanta Braves. He's always a guy that we've looked to target with left-handed hitting. He's much better against righties, but he is in Coors Field tonight. Coors Field, obviously, one of the best hitting environments in baseball, if not the best hitting environment in baseball. 69 degrees, so it's not quite summer Coors weather yet, which would be nice, but the Colorado Rockies Coors Field, you can see. Lots of green going on everywhere. Outfield's huge, good for home runs, good for singles, doubles, triples, everything you could want. Hitter's paradise in Coors. So, obviously, they're going to be viable candidates tonight in Atlanta. They have a 6.27 implied run total. We do prefer the lefties, though. So, Matt Olson's definitely going to be my top play in the stack. Ozzie Albies toward the bottom of the order. You have Michael Harris now at the bottom of the order. But the rest of the team's obviously going to be in play. The Colorado Rockies bullpen's really, really bad. Looking at the bullpen data as far as where they rank out on the year, they are the second to worst bullpen in the league. So loading up on these Braves, certainly going to be another viable option tonight after them going off last night. Chase Silseth taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. He has been really good against righties, not so hot against lefties. He is a top prospect, has a pretty good overall. So I tend to lean on Vegas data when it comes to something like this. The Vegas data has not dropped yet, so I would just keep an eye out for that Vegas data, see what they think as far as the Phillies' expected runs. He's really not striking many people out, though, so, I mean, the Phillies stack could be in play here. I just like to see the Vegas lines when it comes to someone with a limited sample size. I trust Vegas in that kind of a predicament. Vince Velasquez taking on the Rays. He gives them a 527 slugging to righties, a 41 slugging to lefties, also. A really good pitcher to be targeting. The only problem is the Rays are in the trop, but outside of that, fantastic spot. They only have a 4.13 implied run total, but maybe a lower owned stack that you could be taking advantage of tonight because you can't ask for a much better spot. I do think you could definitely play the 1 through 9. Some teams I talk about, so people oftentimes say, like, you mentioned a lot of stacks, and I do, but that's because you have to be different in tournaments, and we have so many options for pitching. Like, you could stack up, 6 through 9 in this Rays lineup, and they could go off, and you have, if you're playing on DraftKings, like, maybe you just have the top 2 pitchers in Cole and Burns or Bieber, McClanahan, and that's how you win a tournament. So, oftentimes, I'll say, like, 1 through 9, or I'll say, like, I wouldn't be willing to go, like, 1 through 6. This is definitely a lineup I'd be willing to go 1 through 9, for sure. I mean, Phillips, Brujan have some speed. Taylor Walls, Mike Zunino has a bunch of power as a catcher, so with that 4.13 implied run total, definitely going 1 through 9 there. Good spot for them targeting Vince Velasquez. Josiah Gray taking on Cincinnati. He gives up a 464 slugging to righties, a 551 slugging to lefties, so another really good option to be targeting. His K rate does dip down against lefties, so we do prefer to target him with left-handed bats. I was really high on Joey Votto yesterday. He went deep, and he's in another good spot tonight. So going with some... Oh, I got ahead of myself. That's actually not in the main slate, so apologies. That is not relevant to the main slate, so we'll skip over that. Alvin Rodriguez taking on the New York Yankees. The Yankees have a massive total. This guy has pretty decent numbers across the board, but it's going to be a leash issue of like how deep he goes into the ball game, and it's probably going to be a bullpen game. And I think that's why the Yankees have such a high total. I mean, he's been right around 40, 50 pitches when he does start. 4 earned runs the first 2 times out, and then 0 the last. But Vegas does like the Yankees to put up a lot of runs here. They have a 5.41 implied total. Looking at the Detroit Tigers bullpen, middle of the pack, they're definitely not terrible, but they're not the top tier bullpen that we see across the league either. Yankees are hot, man. I mean, they're dealing with some injuries with Giancarlo and Josh Donaldson, and it just hasn't mattered. Matt Carpenter stepped in, has been hitting great. Joey Gallo's starting to come to life a little bit. Aaron Hicks starting to come to life a little bit. So certainly would be willing to stack this lineup up 1 through 9. If you're going to the bottom of the Yankees lineup, it's just like you better have some elite pitching. They can definitely get you there, but you better have some top-tier pitching as far as I'm concerned. Like, they're decent bottom of the lineup, but it could be a lot better with the 2 injuries they're dealing with. But, yeah, 5.41 implied total, definitely viable. Stacking up the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. Great home run hitters ballpark. There's just so many options, man. Merrill Kelly in Pittsburgh. I don't want to be targeting him because of the Pittsburgh environment. Bruce Zimmerman taking on Cleveland. Gives up a lot of hard contact to both sides, but once again, Baltimore just has become a not so fun. Like, I used to love targeting right-handed power in this ballpark, and now it's like, you know, I don't know. It's like death alley out there on left right now. So I don't really think it's worth targeting the Guardians too heavy on such a large slate for me. Capriolian's a guy that really struggles against lefties, but he's in Oakland. Really not the best spot to be targeting for bats. Maybe you could get a low-owned Rafael Devers as a one-off, or a Verdugo, or Franchi Cordero, or Jackie Bradley Jr. And maybe one of them goes deep if you want to go there. I'm not really too much about the one-off life myself, but some people do it. Tyler Anderson taking on the New York Mets. It's a guy you want to target with right-handed power. Mets righties. They only have a 3.78 implied total, but you can go with the Marte, Lindor, Pete Alonso, Mark Canha, J.D. Davis stack. If you wanted to in the heart, that's probably where I'd be looking. Maybe sneaky low-owned in tournaments because they don't have the highest implied total. The Dodgers bullpen is the second best in the league, though, so that's a little bit scary. Arguably the best in the league. I mean, they're just really, really good. Jose Urquidy is a guy that struggles against right-handed power. The Royals are a team you can be looking to for the righties. Let's see. Kansas City, 4 implied run total. You have Bobby Witt, Whit Merrifield, Salvador Perez. That's about it. I mean, the bottom of the lineup isn't really that great is the problem. Hunter Dozier, Emmanuel Rivera. There's not the most talented lineup once again. Like, I don't feel the greatest about going there on such a huge slate with some other lineups that are a lot better. Which, I mean, just to round things out here, I mean, let's look at some run totals and just make sure there's anything I didn't miss on here. I mean, we talked about the Yankees, we talked about the Blue Jays, top stack of the slate for me, not even a doubt. The Astros against the Singer we can touch on real quick because they have a decent total. Max Fried has to pitch against the Rockies, so the Rockies are going to be viable. I wasn't really on the Rockies too much last night. They did pretty well, so that could have came back to bite you, but once again, I probably won't be on them. Max Fried's pretty good. I know it's Coors Field, but he does a good job of limiting hard contact. His decent strikeout rate. He might get hit around and allow, 4 earned runs or whatever. I'm not saying I want to pitch him, but they're probably going to come via, singles, doubles in the gap, and not too much, I don't expect them to be teeing off a bunch of bombs against him. So for me, probably fade the Rockies, not too high on them. It's just Coors Field draws so much ownership that why am I going to go there if I don't really like the spot that much? And then from there, I mean, Eliza Hernandez has some serious issues against lefties, but that's not on the main slate. San Francisco Giants taking on the Miami Marlins. So, I mean, that's pretty much a good overall coverage of the slate today. I mean, the Astros taking on Brady Singer would be the last spot I have to touch on. The Royals have a really bad bullpen. They have the 4th worst bullpen in the league. Singer, 350 slugging against righties, a 450 slugging against lefties, so we do prefer to target him with left-handed power. And the Astros definitely do have some left-handed power in Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker, so those 2 bats and then Michael Brantley do look pretty appealing. And then you can fill in your stacks with Yulieski Gurriel, Alex Bregman, also Jose Altuve. Once again, a really good lineup. So, I'd much rather be stacking them up than a team that's not so hot on such a large slate. And that is my overall breakdown. Before I let you guys go, got to give you my home run call of the day. But if you enjoyed, Chris Bassett taking on the Dodgers. The Dodgers have a 4.72 implied total against Chris Bassett, which is kind of crazy. They just always have a high total, man. Chris Bassett's been pretty good. He's not really the ideal target. He's a 340 slugging against righties and a 380 slugging against lefties. I don't feel the need to go to the Dodgers tonight, especially if they're going to be drawing ownership. Maybe they go low owned, then that's when you pivot to them. But I feel like the Dodgers always draw ownership, but maybe they do go low owned. Maybe the name value of Chris Bassett makes them go low owned. That would be the appeal with the Dodgers. They can always go off, but if they're going to get the ownership, it's such a large slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I shouldn't even be talking about ownership. 11, 12 games. Just play who you want on a slate like this. Just play who you want. Even the top stacks aren't going to go that highly owned compared to a smaller slate. So, all right, that's all, guys. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Got to give you my home run call of the day before I let you go. But if you haven't signed up for PrizePicks, check them out as well. We went 4-0 yesterday, looking to stay hot over there. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match deposit up to $100. You can check out the premium content packages as well. Link below in the description. Let's get into the home run call right now. Let's get into it. And my home run call of the day today is going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This one an absolute no-brainer for me in a smash spot, taking on Chichi Gonzalez tonight, who gives up a 630 slugging to righties with a 47% hard contact rate, 415 WOBA, and only a 12.9% K rate. I expect Vladdy to send one to the moon, if not multiple. And then when you're breaking down Chichi Gonzalez's stuff, mostly relying on the fastball cutter combination. Goes to the fastball 42% of the time, the cutter 23% of the time. The fastball, you're sitting right about a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. And Vladdy features a 500 ISO with a 554 WOBA against that pitch off right-handed pitching. Then when he breaks out the cutter, no issue either, because Vladdy features a 220 ISO with a 396 WOBA. Love all these Jays right-hand hitters, and it doesn't get much better than Vladdy with the amount of power that he displays. I think he has a massive night tonight. Get him in your lineup because he is my home run call of the day. So there we go, guys. Vladdy Jr. Get him in your lineups, and that is all from me in this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Wishing you all the best of luck on your entries tonight, and we will see you in the next one.